Love the night? Reach for Zin After Dark, a limited cocktail-inspired series for those who get up when the sun goes down. Try Zin's Mojito, spiced cider, and espresso martini nicotine pouches. Find them at select retailers, available while supplies last. Zin After Dark. Bring on the night. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
At California Closets, we design for the little things. Take this moment of a parent walking across their toy-filled living room for a glass of water. And now, the California Closets version of that moment. Family room and home storage solutions by designers who get you. California Closets. More room for what matters.
The second quarter of the year isn't about starting over. It's about getting real about what's working and what's not. We've got astrological shifts happening that are putting love front and center. The intense energy will push you to stop overthinking and finally make a move. How we communicate and connect is about to change in a big way. So what does that mean for your love life? We're about to find out. Joining me is our resident astrologer and psychic healer, Jill Jardine, to break down how to navigate this next chapter and how to use this momentum to move forward in life and love. Tune in to hear what the stars have in store for us. I'm Kerry Brett, and Shot at Love starts now. Hi, Jill.
Hey, Kerry. So happy to be back on Shot at Love.
Love having you here. So 2026 is really exposing everything and forcing people to get clear, do the work. Tell us about what's happening. I know we're coming off the post-Mercury in retrograde hangover.
That's right. And the eclipse hangover from February and March. I'm glad, too, that we're doing quarterly breakdowns this year because 2026 is like 4 years in one. And so today we're going to look at April through June, maybe a little bit into July. But this is how we have to take the energy now, one day, one quarter at a time, because things are going to get fast and furious in April.
The full moon is April 1st, and we're all feeling that intense, fast and furious energy. Why is this going to accelerate everything?
Yeah, so April's an interesting month. The April Fool's joke is on all of us at the full moon on April 1st in Libra. But there's some good things that are going to come from that. Moon is in Libra, and always at a full moon, the sun is in the opposite sign, which is Aries in this case. So this is very relevant to your listeners. This is balancing the needs of self and others. And a lot of people might call it quits around this full moon with relationships because a full moon does bring things to culmination where a new moon would initiate, and the new moon is going to be on the 17th of April, and it's in Aries. But I am just getting the pulse on relationships with my clients out there, and a lot of people are getting fed up if relationships aren't working. There's so much happening in the world that people don't want trauma and drama in their personal lives or in their relationship lives. So this April Fool's full moon is going to really show it like it is. There'll be revelations, and there'll be a lot of information coming to light. And I think it's going to help people be more informed as they move through the month of April, which is unprecedented with what's happening. We have a once in an 84-year transit kicking in on the 25th when Uranus goes into Uranus for the first time since World War II. And we also have a stellium, or a bunch of planets together in the same sign. In this case, they're all in Aries, the sign of self and the sign of new beginnings. So people are going to be putting number one first. They're going to be putting themselves first, which might create tension in relationships. And we have that Aries new moon on the 17th with a cluster of 6 planets in Aries, including the sun, moon, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, and Neptune that are there for a while. So it's a really good time for launching things, and it's a really good time to get clear what you want and then figure out how relationships can fit into that. The other thing is that the Uranus in Gemini is going to totally accelerate. Planets are all moving direct since Mercury went direct back on the 20th of March, 2026. And all planets of the zodiac are moving forward until May when Pluto goes retrograde on May 6th. So this is go time on so many frontiers in our life. And it is going to accelerate what's happening in the collective, meaning a lot of things, both personally and collectively, are coming to a head.
I want to go deeper with these 6 planets in Aries and the influence, that fire energy, how that will affect us maybe emotionally or behaviorally when dating or bringing in new opportunities. How do we avoid making reckless decisions? How do these 6 planets affect that?
Well, I think it's going to give people some oomph to get out there and start doing something new and different. Fire is inspiring. Fire rules romance and creativity. So I think people are going to jump into the fire, even though it might be from the fire into the frying pan. But I think people will be more willing to take risks. They may be more impulsive, which can be good or bad, but always with Aries, we have to watch for rash decisions. So people may be quick to jump into something, but they also may be quick to end it, even if it's not validated. Let's say somebody goes out on a date, a woman goes out on a date, guy says the wrong word, he looks at her the wrong way, she may be like, that's it. I'm not going to go with him. He's a loser. So people can be very, very quick to make decisions, which my suggestion would be in the dating arena is throw a wide net, try a lot of different type of partnerships or potential partnerships, but don't really commit to anything until we come into the Taurus equinox that kicks in around the 19th of April, actually this year. It comes early, the 19th of April and goes till the 20th of May. Taurus is more consistent, it's more grounded. That's going to help people get an idea. And then one by one, Venus will be in Gemini. Again, people will want to think quick, be on their feet, act quick. But we're going to have the Sun go into Taurus, and then Mercury and Mars will follow in late April and May. And that would be the time to sort of make the decisions, where just throw everything up into the mix and see where it lands.
I think what we're seeing around us energetically with people is they have really no bandwidth.
Right. People have no tolerance for things. And so if something's going to get them mad or infuriate them, they're not going to want to deal with that. I'm seeing this happening in people who have been in long-term relationships. The tolerance that people have for their partner's BS or for patterns that the partner hasn't healed there is no tolerance. The bandwidth is not there, and people are like, I'm better off if I go it alone. So we're going to see probably unprecedented relationship breakups, divorces. Divorce lawyers will have a very good cycle here.
Wow. And is it because Venus is entering Gemini?
Venus will be in Gemini on the 24th of April. So that's the day before. I call Venus holding the gate open for this once in an 84-year transit. It's a generational transit. The people born in the next 7 years will have Uranus in Gemini. It's going to be an unprecedented time of fast movement. And it's the 4th planet to come into the mix of air and fire. We've already had Pluto in Aquarius for the last couple of years, which is an air sign. Then we had Saturn and Neptune kind of go together in February for good. They dipped their toes a little bit in 2025, but they're in early degrees Aries. And then we have Uranus come into Gemini, another air sign. So air, fire, air, fire. And then the picture is completed in July when Jupiter, who has been in Cancer, a water sign, trying to keep everything together emotionally and nationally and internally, goes into Leo, fire. Yeah, people are going to be very quick to ignite, whether for better or for worse.
But I kind of like it because it's action.
Right, very much. We are in the fire horse year in Chinese astrology. This is a year of action. But like I said, the way I'm looking at this astrologically, it is like 4 years. So the good news is some of the chaotic energy of January, February, March, I won't say it will calm down. It may change its focus. And in fact, April through June will decide probably the end of the year. And this is where we really have all year to kind of suss out our futures. it's still a year of not necessarily commitment because all these air and fire are still in early degrees. So it's like stepping your foot into the fire, but not jumping into it. Stepping your foot, warming your foot, let's say. Warming. Fire can burn down a house or it can warm your hands, your feet, your food. So let's approach all the fire looking for the warmth of it.
I like that. You did say the beginning of the year was a reset, really.
Yes, yeah.
It really was. We had the storms and we were kind of forced inward.
Oh, yeah. It was all about incubation and it was all about cocooning. It was all about really giving us more time to process. It was very emotional. There was a lot of loss for people. There was a lot of release of the past. And now April is the first test point of can you trot out the new energy of your life? And again, I think that some people might be just too quick on the uptake and dive into things too fast. We still have to use discernment.
Finding love doesn't come from luck. It's putting yourself in the right rooms. It's putting yourself out there in new networking opportunities. And I think that's a good thing. I think people need to use this fire energy.
Yes.
To get moving.
And Uranus in Gemini is all about networking. So it's Uranus who's ruled by Aquarius, fellow air sign, in another air sign for the first time in about 21 years. So this is going to make people a lot more open to making new connections and trying new things. And our communication technologies are going to go through the roof even more than they already are. There's going to be a lot of new platforms coming online, especially with dating and connecting with like-minded people, because we also have Pluto harmonizing with Uranus and Gemini, Pluto and Aquarius. So that's really the signature of find your tribe, find the like-minded. People are going to get much more discerning as far as like, okay, the person has to check these boxes before I even connect with them, or that they have to have these commonalities with me before I'll even check them out.
I think that's a problem, though, that people are really fixated on some surface level things, and then they hold themselves back.
Exactly. Well, that's it. There's this appeal of throwing a wide net when it comes to Aries, but then the Gemini is going to be like, I need to resonate on certain energetics with people to make it appealing.
April is going to be wild.
Yes. It's a reset. It's a restart. The culmination of all this is going to happen at the new moon in Aries on the 17th of April. So this is an excellent time for all of those who are waiting for the right relationship to show up. Set your intentions. Light your fires. Throw those desires into the fires. And release the old if you haven't done it yet in the first 3 months, but ignite the new energy in your life and do your little lunar rituals, full moon magic.
Right.
New moon magic in this case, full moon magic on the 1st of April, release those old relationships that don't work and intend on the new ones, but really any aspect of life that wants to be recreated or rebirthed or envisioned anew. Do a ritual at that new moon in Aries on April 17th. We've been waiting for a new moon that wasn't afflicted by retrograde as it was in March, and by an eclipse in February, and by a Capricorn cluster in January. So this is go time at the Aries new moon on April 17th.
I love that. It's like clean up, do your spring cleanup, Marie Kondo, everything, and get moving, get ready, set your intentions, put it into the fire, solidify it, and use the energy.
Right. And again, all planets traveling direct until May 6th.
It's a good time.
April was like really, it's only, the window is quite short this year. Sometimes we have all those planets going direct for several months, but they all went direct starting on March 20th, and then it ends on May 6th when all the outer planets start turning retrograde. And there is a Mercury retrograde at the end of June, too, into July that might mess with people a little bit.
What are some of the astrological keynotes of May?
Yeah, so May is kind of a fun month. It's a once in a blue moon month. What does that mean? That means there's 2 full moons in the month of May. So again, usually some crazy things can happen. That's where that phrase comes from, once in a blue moon. So May kicks off with that full moon in the sign Scorpio, moon in Scorpio and sun in Taurus, which is considered a very spiritual moon by the Tibetans. It's called the Wesak. So again, it's really good for seeding fortunate futures. And it's also considered a big moon around money because Scorpio and Taurus are the money signs. So the month starts with that full moon on May 1st. Mid-month, we have the new moon in Taurus on May 16th. And then the last day of May is the full moon with the sun in Gemini, moon in Sag. So May is still a very interesting month because we're going to see a lot of things maybe get anchored because of the Taurus energy until about May 20th. It is a good time to anchor. So if you did meet somebody in April and you want to make it more consistent or committed, you could probably get that going on in early May. It is going to be a little squirrely financially, though. I mean, there can be some upsets financially, which will throw people off their center with the markets. The market's already up and down because of what's happening with the collective situation and war in Iran and things like that. May can show us more, okay, if we don't make changes, this is where we're headed, personally and collectively. And then May is really a month of applying what you are trying to manifest. So May is going to be a little bit of a up and down month, some good, some challenging. Ideally, there's more consistency and clarity. Taurus will give us clarity. It's a really good month to get outside and ground. It will be a change of seasons in the Northern Hemisphere from spring going into later spring and heralding summer when Memorial Day comes, although the weather doesn't always go along with that. And in the Southern Hemisphere, they're in their fall. So it is a good time to really get into your body and be outside and ground. And with all the craziness that's going to probably be going on in the world still in different ways, this time it's going to show up financially. You need to be really grounded and in your body and centered. And people in the dating world will be seeking sensual pleasures, which is a keynote of Taurus in early May.
Well, I think this springtime, people are excited to get outside, and they will be doing that.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be great. May and June should be really good for socialization and meeting people. And the second part of May, from the 20th on, when the sun goes into Gemini, it's going to, about the third week, fourth week of May, the sun will be hands in hand with Uranus in Gemini. So that's kind of an anything goes transit, a lot of shocks, unexpected, both personally and collectively, and things can shift on a dime, as we say. Things can be looking one way as we are in the first 3 weeks of May, and then all of a sudden we can see major reversals happen.
Right. It seems like a little bit of a free-for-all energy.
Well, yes. This whole year is sort of like that, but the good news is that people are breaking free of, if anything, this is not stagnation time, and I'm talking collectively, societally, and in personal lives. People don't want to stagnate. They want to try something new. And the thing about Gemini, when the sun goes in there and the inner planets and Uranus being there, it's like people are like, well, this isn't working. Let me try this. Let me try this. People can shift in a moment.
I think this energy of the horse this year is fast and make changes. And if it doesn't work, try something new.
Right. And even people are very fearful because of some of the global situations and the war and the political. But again, those are things that can shift like very fast. I like to tell my clients who are all freaked out about the Iran war situation, it was started during a Mercury retrograde and during eclipse season in February and March. And so those things tend not to have staying power because energetically, there's no anchor when there's a Mercury retrograde, and certainly eclipses really are washing out and wringing out old energies that no longer serve and aren't really supposed to be perpetuated going forward, as well as being harbingers of perhaps new energy coming. But it really takes about 3 months after an eclipse to see what the new energy would be. And that would bring us, if we look at the May 19th solar eclipse in Aquarius, then we're looking at the 19th of May. Around the 19th of May, which is right after the Taurus new moon of what's going to be panning out. And then there was a lunar eclipse on the 3rd of March, so then we're looking around the 3rd of June for the fallout of that.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. I really feel like there is new energy with this full moon coming on April 1st.
Right. It is going to be shifting things from earlier in the year. But this year, things are moving so fast that what an issue was in February, it's old news. So in April, what the issues were in March, it's old news. And then the next
cycle,
big issue comes up.
Right. Next big shift.
Yeah.
So what will happen in June?
I look at June as being a very pivotal month, even though there's not a lot of major astrology going on. It's really in July. But what's going to happen with June is that the planet Jupiter is finishing its transit through the sign Cancer, where it's been for a year. Now, the United States is a Cancerian nation founded on July 4th. And Cancer rules things like nationalism, homeland, the motherland. There's been a lot of that going on for the past year. And then when Jupiter goes into Leo, it's really going to blow up the focus on the leaders of the world. Jupiter in Leo is the leaders, and Pluto is the population, and we're going to see Jupiter and Pluto opposing each other. So some things will start to come to a head in June. Some things that have been problematic earlier in this year, we'll see them come to a head. We'll also see resolutions possibly. Gemini is a problem solver energy, and in early June we have that. And then we do have Jupiter leaving Cancer as the sun goes into Cancer. So there's some completion of a cycle that's been going on for about a year here before Jupiter goes into Leo and then joins the mix of the air and fire. So we will see things get much, much more accelerated. But Jupiter and Cancer, people tend to want to be more around home and internalized and family. But the minute that Jupiter goes into Leo in July, people are going to be out there much more. Leo is another fire sign. So it's the creativity, it's the new energy, it's the connection, the connectivity. But we will see some shifts and changes in leaders for sure.
I wonder how that will play out with the relationships, because maybe some of those connections, they'll hunker down and they'll solidify that relationship, or they'll break apart.
Well, yeah, let's not forget, Leo is sometimes a sign associated with narcissism. So if there is somebody who's too much the one that needs all the attention in a relationship, or tends to lean toward narcissistic behaviors, or me, which sometimes Leo's known for that, not to knock the Leos out there. Leos are also very loving. It rules the heart. With Jupiter in Leo, that could be the issue. People want more heart connection. Or they're with somebody who's a little bit selfish, which, by the way, Aries is going to bring that out too in relationships. Who's the selfish one and who's not giving? Mm-hmm. And so Jupiter in Leo is going to have an effect on relationships specifically because people are looking for a heart connection. Leo rules the heart.
It will be interesting to see what the summer brings. Will it be the summer of love, or?
Oh, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. If people want to play, let's not forget that Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so it's kind of connected to being childlike and a beginner's mind and start things anew, but certainly all work and no play makes one a boring starmate. So both Leo and Aries are considered playful signs. And Leo is the sign of the performer, the celebrity, the entertainer. So I think certainly this summer people are going to want to be entertained. Enough of the worldly woes, and let's have some fun,
right,
entertainment, and love.
Right. I think there's been a lot of hardship, especially the beginning of this year. I think people wanted a fresh start and no more suffering, and we had more of it. Right.
Now, that being said, so weather and other things were the problems in January through March, especially here in New England. We had an unprecedented cold and snowy winter. But the weird thing with Gemini in Uranus and Gemini, Uranus rules electricity. I do think we're going to have more electrical grid problems, unfortunately, which that's why it's like get in the dates when you can, because we'll see maybe more brownouts in areas where it's like rolling electrical loss. This has been predicted for a while. And then some of it will be weather related, because with all that fire energy, there could be fires in places like the west coast of the United States and other places where there's not as many right now. As we are recording this, there's fires in North Carolina mountains. So that's the problem with a lot of air and fire. There'll be more weather anomalies related to fires, volcanic activity, and of course, air situations.
And the technology piece is kind of interesting to me, because we've been having some technology problems ourselves.
Right.
And I wonder what that will be doing to people with AI and job changes and all of that. Things are shifting pretty fast.
Right. I think that that's going to be a major issue going forward, that we're going to see some foreshadowing of in 2026, that certain infrastructures need to be buffeted or reinforced, especially with grids, electrical things that are basic that we took for granted, certain websites that have financial information, and all of that is all up for revamping because of what's going on. And of course, resources.
I think what you're saying really in this episode is make the opportunities, use the energy that's fast moving, and create new things for yourself.
Yeah, get your personal life in order, have some fun, go out there, play, make some new connections, and try to tune out the chaos out there in the world. That there's always been chaos, but it does feel like it's amped up more than usual, which it is, because we're leaving an old paradigm and coming into a new one. So we're kind of in a phase of birthing pains, but that doesn't mean that people need to put their lives on hold. And that was kind of what the late 2025 and early 2026 was about. People were forced, due to circumstances a lot of times beyond their control, to go within. And to the extent that you've done your inner work and that you've done some soul searching and replenishment of your energy, is to the extent you're going to really have the vitality and the life force and the gumption to go out there and really have some fun and play. And I really think that when more people are coming from a heart-centered experience of life, that's going to shift it for everybody on the planet. So that's actually what we're being asked to do starting in this second quarter of 2026. Come from the heart and love yourself, love others, and humanity will follow.
I love that. Love is the most powerful,
yes,
energetic, and it just breeds and builds more of it.
Yeah.
The more you put out there.
And that's what you talk about on Shot at Love. And so I think this is a great time for everybody to take their shot at love.
I love that. Jill, thanks so much for being here. Where can people find out more about you?
They can check me out on my website. I have two, actually, JillJardineAstrology.com, or I just wrote a book on vibration frequency using Sanskrit mantras. They can check out my book on JillJardine.com and order it. And of course, listen to my podcast, Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine, on the Believe Network, like Shot at Love.
Thanks so much.
Subscribe, download, and like both of these podcasts.
Love it. And for now, this week, Shot at Love dating tips that are inspired by our guest, astrologer and psychic healer, Jill Jardine. Number 1, go on the date. Say yes to the invite. Meet new people. But don't decide someone is the one or the worst after one date. Let things unfold before making the final call. Number 2, if something feels off, it's not random, it's information. Stop overlooking red flags or making excuses. If someone's behavior doesn't align with what you want, believe it early. Number 3, this isn't a wait and see season. It's a get out there and create new opportunity season. Try a new event or a new approach to meeting people. The right person won't find you if you're staying in the same routine. Don't be afraid to change it up. Looking for love? My brand new book, Shot at Love, is out now. You can grab your copy today on Amazon. If you'd like to stay connected, get exclusive updates, and be the first to hear about Shot at Love live single events, join the mailing list at shotatlovebook.com. Don't miss your chance to change the way you see love and yourself.
If you, your parent, or spouse served in the military, you could join our family. Our members saved an average of $70 a month on auto insurance when they switched. Tap the banner or visit usaa.com/join today to check your eligibility. Restrictions apply.
What are you reaching for? If you're a smoker or dipper, you could be reaching for so much more with Zyn nicotine pouches. When you reach for Zyn, you're reaching for 10 satisfying varieties and 2 strengths for a smoke-free and spit-free experience that lets you lean in, for chances to break free from your routine, and a unique nationwide community. Whatever you're reaching for, reach for it with America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Find your Zyn wherever nicotine products are sold near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Retirement isn't just about closing out your career. It's living the life you've always dreamed of. With New York Life, you get the financial guidance to make it real. Start today at nyl.com.
Sierra has all the best active and outdoor brands for the super athletic stuff, like running gear for cruising up the trail. Woo! And the super athletic-ish stuff, like fishing gear for chilling by the creek. Nice cast. Fitness apparel to push for higher reps. You got this. And golf balls priced so you can afford to lose one. Or a few. Head to Sierra or Sierra.com for the brands you want at the prices that let you do it all. From athletic to athletic-ish, Sierra's got it.
Patrick loves dining out. Omar loves takeout. And Katie, she cooks from scratch. Because no two people are the same, so their credit cards shouldn't treat them the same. That's why we made the TD Cash Credit Card. It lets you choose which spend categories earn unlimited 3% cash back, like on dining, groceries, or gas. It's how TD is making banking more human. Terms and conditions apply. See td.com/cash for details.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.